Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Over the past few days, as national lockdown restrictions have started to ease very slowly in phases in some places, we can take a relatively educated guess and say that it's likely that increased physical contact among people in certain hotspot areas could have led to newer infections. Of course, data will tell over the next few days. But the only way to test people, and in fact, anytime we go to get tested for the coronavirus, is through an RT-PCR test. An RT-PCR test is a genetic test, and this is the test that determines if a person is currently infected, and it works only when a person is currently sick. This does not work if a person has already recovered, but it works on both asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic people. Asymptomatic people are those who are infected but don't show symptoms and likely won't show symptoms, and pre-symptomatic people are those who are infected and don't yet show the symptoms but will in a few days. The tests are considered genetic because they work on the RNA of the virus, and the tests that we use are approved by the American Regulatory Authority FDA or also have to meet the European certification standard. So, how is this testing done? COVID-19 is a respiratory disease. It infects the upper and lower respiratory tracts of a person through the nasal pathways, which is through the eyes, nose, and mouth. So swabs are first collected from a patient's throat and or the nose as a part of a nasopharyngeal sampling. Sometimes blood can be taken too, depending on which lab is doing the test. There are several ways that samples can be collected. A simple swab test is done with a sample taken from inside the throat or a nose of a potentially infected person. Samples from air passageways can be taken through the nose or the mouth by either injecting salt water into the nose or using a tube called a bronchoscope, which collects sample from the lung. Coughed up septum is also used as a source for studying mucous tissue from the lungs. If needed, a blood sample may be collected as well. Swabs from suspected cases are collected and kept in a virus transport medium in order to protect the delicate RNA matter. They are then transported and brought to a qualified laboratory for testing. The SARS-CoV-2 is highly contagious, and hence only labs that are equipped to contain and work with contagious viruses which have high biosafety levels are allowed to work with it and perform tests. In fact, this is the main reason why there are so few labs around the world that can perform tests for the coronavirus, for this coronavirus, in each country, and thus it costs precious time during diagnosis. The samples are studied for the virus through two ways. Either through a larger test, which simply looks for the presence of all coronaviruses, including the ones that give us the common cold, or through the genetic test, which is the RT-PCR test. The RT-PCR test finds the specific genetic marker that indicates the presence of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. The main reason we use the RT-PCR test is because the SARS-CoV-2 virus is an RNA virus. Here's how this works. Unlike DNA, RNA has only a single strand. To test for the SARS-CoV-2 virus, researchers have to pick out specific areas of the RNA that don't change rapidly in the virus's evolution and mutation cycle, but still have a distinctive signature to be able to identify it. These sections of the RNA are repeatedly copied and amplified in a process called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, which forms the basis of the coronavirus test and lends its name to it. In the lab, the swab is mixed with a liquid in which the viral matter gets dispersed. The liquid is then subject to centrifugation, a process that is used to separate the liquid from the viral matter through rapid rotation, much like a washing machine. What remains is essentially a pellet of viral cells as the liquid gets flung out. This pellet is now processed in order to separate the RNA matter. The RNA samples from patients, however, yields only a tiny quantity which is not adequate for testing process. So to solve this problem, the RNA is converted to a double-stranded DNA using an enzyme. And this enzyme is called reverse transcriptase, which is what gives the RT part of the RT-PCR test its name. Regions of this DNA, called the complementary DNA or cDNA, needs to be copied again repeatedly to amplify it so that the test can detect this DNA. And now comes the determining test. Here we use primers. Primers are small pieces of DNA themselves and are designed only to bind to other specific DNA sequences. So the primers used in this test are designed to bind to the SARS-CoV-2's viral genome. The primers, along with a probe, which is a fluorescent dye, are put in a small reaction tube, and the whole thing is then placed into a PCR machine where the binding process takes place. If the sample contains a virus, its DNA will bind to the primers. The left primer binds to the left end of the DNA and the right primer binds to the right end of the DNA. And the probe is bound to the middle of the DNA. The left and right primers will keep moving towards the middle, and when they come near the probe, a quencher releases the fluorescent dye and a signal is emitted. It is this fluorescent signal which marks the presence of the virus because it is emitted only when there is binding to the viral DNA. This process takes place in about 40 cycles, and in one cycle, the machine raises the temperature for the DNA to separate, after which it cools down, allowing the primers to bind with the genome. Many places, including some places in India, also pool tests. Pooling is done when samples are mixed together and tested in batches. It saves time and cost. Depending on which lab is performing the test, anywhere from 8 to 50 samples can be pooled in for a test, where individual samples are also maintained to test later if necessary. A test is performed on an entire pooled sample, and after amplification and testing, if a pooled test comes negative, a large group of people are eliminated because they've tested negative. If the result is positive, then the test is performed again on individual samples which make up this pooled samples, and then the infected samples are narrowed down. In this entire process of RT-PCR testing, the RNA extraction typically takes between 2 to 3 hours, while the subsequent PCR process takes anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. Thus, the total time duration for the testing process is around 8 to 10 hours, but results typically arrive a day or two later in most parts of our country because of how long it takes to transport samples to labs. This is Sandhya Ramesh from Bengaluru for The Print.